In an age of social media influencers and selfies, it seems society has never placed more importance on how we look. White teeth, clear skin, beautiful hair. But what if you don't fit the stereotype? What if you don't have any hair at all?
Alopecia areata.
It's an autoimmune disease that causes hair loss called alopecia.
And I'm gonna tell you, it was terrifying when it first started. You know, I was in the shower one day and then just handfuls of hair.
The infamous slap at last month's Oscars is shining new light on alopecia. Jada Pinkett Smith is one of millions of Americans who live with a condition that causes sudden hair loss.
There's an uptick in the number of patients who've been suffering in silence.
This is really significant. About 300,000 people in this country have severe alopecia.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm Tayla-Daisy Hoyle. People call me TD.
My name is Dominic and I am Tayla-Daisy's dad.
Hello. So my name is Camilla and I am Tayla-Daisy's mummy.
I'm Grace. My name's Hannah. So I met TD last year. I've been at Russell for 7 years and I've known TD for that long as well.
Hello, my name is Dr. Lauren Moore and I'm a doctor that's worked for the NHS since I first qualified in 2019. Alopecia areata is a condition resulting in loss of hair from areas of the body where hair usually grows.
I'm 17 years old. I'm a student at Russell School. I study drama, psychology and business, and I have alopecia. When did I first notice my hair falling out? I was actually in here. It was in January. And then I just come back from like a really windy day at school, and then I was like to my mum, "Oh, can you measure me?" I went to turn around in my wardrobe door, and then she was like, "TD, like, what's happened there?" And I was like, "What do you mean?"
It's a weird one really. So I remember Camilla just saying to me one day as she was brushing her hair at the back that there was like a very small sort of gap and you could see the skin, and I didn't think anything of it. So to see it start coming out was really upsetting, but I think what made it okay is that she was just really brave throughout.
I first spotted it in her bedroom. She was chattering away and she turned round to go into her bathroom and I saw a little tiny patch about this big. My initial reaction, I thought she'd itched her head with the shaver.
And then she said, like, I've got like a little patch of hair missing. And I was like, what? And then she asked me if I accidentally like itched my head when I was shaving in the shower. That's how much she trusted me. So that's what she thought I did, but I didn't. So, yeah, that's when I first noticed it falling out.
I didn't see the actual hair at first, but I knew she was wearing wigs because Holly told me. I knew that it was being lost. I guess I was kind of like more concerned for TD. Like for me it wasn't a big deal because like I just act normal, like I didn't really mind. I never actually heard of the condition. I knew you could get conditions where your hair falls out, but I didn't know what it was. People online have it and like athletes and they spoke out about it, but like I've never really considered it being like a thing to like happen to me or to my friends, so it became very real when TD had it.
Just really confused because at first I didn't even think about alopecia. I just thought, because whenever you think of kind of hair falling out, you go straight to cancer, and I know I don't have cancer, but that's what I kind of thought. I was like oh, I was just so scared. Even though you could barely see it, even though it was underneath my hair, I felt so self-conscious that whenever I was walking around school, everyone behind me was like laughing and could see it, like, oh look, she's got a bald patch, but you couldn't even see it.
And that's when I thought, oh dear, I don't think this is very good. And that's when I rang the doctors straight away and we got in the next day. And yeah, and that was that. So I didn't really know what to really think at that point, but He obviously told us it was alopecia and that it wouldn't probably get any worse than that little tiny patch.
And then it just started to spread and started to spread, and it was just heartbreaking, really. She's like, my daughter's like my little princess, and she's always had such long, beautiful hair. So to see it start coming out was really upsetting.
It did get worse. It was really hard. It was very, very hard in the fact that because it was at the back of Tayla-Daisy's hair, she couldn't see it. She kept saying to me, you know, at night, we had cream that we had to put on, and she'd say to me each week, you know, is it getting any bigger? What's it like? And I could see it was getting bigger, but Tayla-Daisy couldn't.
Diagnosis is clinical, and what that means is that we can usually have a look at the patient in terms of their hair loss pattern and how that has changed over time. Unfortunately, in terms of treatment, there is not much in the way that has a significant impact on the condition. For those that are experiencing a milder version of the illness, often we do see some hair regrowth over time, and the best option is to watch and wait and support them.
Kept saying it's fine, it's okay, don't worry, it's getting a little bit bigger maybe, blah blah blah. And it was only as things kind of got worse and patches were coming at the front and things like that Tayla-Daisy obviously then kind of was like, oh. But as a mummy, I suppose I've been very, 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 very proud of TD, of how she's reacted to it. She's just been an absolute superstar.
So it started with a bald patch about the size of a small coin just at the back of my head, and then it started like doubling in size, and then more patches started growing, and then eventually it just got to the point where it was everywhere. I had a sort of mohawk going on. It was like just hair there and then like nowhere else. So I thought, I'm sick of this mohawk, I've had enough. So I just thought I'd shave the rest of it off. And now it's growing back a bit, as you can see, quite a lot. Obviously I got a wig, as you can see, and I used to wear that all the time at school, but then it got to the point where I didn't really see a reason for me wearing it. I thought, so what if people see like my hair and how it is? So what? So I just started going without my wig at school, and then I got more comfortable, and I did come to terms with it. But I preferred it much more after I shaved it off, because I just thought it looked really cool.
I think I was like the second person outside of her family to know, so I kind of felt like I had a responsibility to just make sure she was okay. Like throughout the day I'd kind of pull her over and say like, are you doing okay? And I knew she was getting support from her teacher, so I was just making sure like, oh, did your teacher speak to you today? First time I saw her without wigs on, it was when she was running 100 metres, and I remember seeing her without the wig, and I was so proud of her, and she just running along. I was like, oh, TD, well done.
I think in terms of stories, I think the most uplifting one was she kind of said when it came to her 17th birthday, she kept saying she wanted it to have it shaved off, and we weren't quite sure whether it was the right thing to do or not, because we didn't want to make things worse. And she just said on her birthday that she wanted to shave it all off. So we booked her in at a proper hairdresser's, and it was a lovely moment, really. It was quite empowering. I remember she's got this picture that Camilla took where she's going like that, and she's beaming from, it gets me a bit upset, she's kind of beaming from ear to ear with a smile, and she just looks beautiful, you know, with or without her hair. She just looks beautiful. That was the moment that I really thought, yeah, this will be fine, even if it doesn't come back. She's just gorgeous.
We talk a lot about this issue. Luckily, fingers crossed, after several trips to the doctors and continual applications of medication and taking iron supplements, she is starting to get little bits of growth back, which is amazing. But supporting her kind of mentally and making sure that she's happy, she's unbelievable. She kind of has never cried over this. She's been absolutely as strong as an ox. I've cried, she's been absolutely, you know, owning it, I guess. But we have giggles, and I think sometimes that's probably, one of the best things really, because we've giggled our way through this and we're positive and we keep saying, you know, it's going to come back, your hair's coming back, and it is coming back.
If you could describe Tayla-Daisy in one word, what would it be?
Special. Brilliant.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
If I were to describe myself with one word, it would be resilient.
Nice. Okay, well done. Right, nice. It's a wrap.
This is ace. Oh God.
Just to own it. I think there's no point trying to hide it. I think it's who you are, and I think you just need to embrace it and show everyone, like, yeah, this is me. As hard as it can be confident with it.
Okay, nice. Well done. Well done.
What's up, guys?
Oh my god, I'm so glad.
That was so cool. Hi, it's me again 6 months later. It's been a strange few months. A few months after I last interviewed, as you can see, my hair has started to fall out again. I remember like when I used to just be like doing my work, I'd just have like little bits of, because it was already short, like little bits of shavings like falling onto my paper. It was really irritating. I shaved my hair again, second time. I think it was in like January or something. It's now April. And it's actually started, you can't see it from there I don't think, but I've got little like baby pigeon hair kind of on my head now. It's starting to grow back a little bit, so that's positive. I think I would tell my past self to just be confident with it, because the hardest thing when it was in its worst stage, I suppose, like all falling out, it was the mental side of it, like thinking people could like see my patch or anything like that, and it was maybe really self-conscious. But if you just own it, let people know, you tell people, yeah, I do have alopecia, that's me, that's what it is. Like it reduces that stress, I think, because then people know about it. You're not worried about, oh, can they see it? You know they know, and it's fine, you can just be yourself. So obviously I got my wig from the Little Princess Trust, which I'm really, really thankful for, and I really felt like I needed to wear it when I first started with alopecia. I couldn't go anywhere. I remember we were going to go to the cinema one time and I couldn't go. I was so nervous, like if they'd see either my bald spot, but then also either like knew I was wearing a wig, if you know what I mean. I always felt self-conscious that people knew it was a wig. The first wig I had, it had a fringe on, so it was a very drastic change from what people used to see me as with my normal hair. And then people would ask me, like, is that a wig, or are you just like cut a fringe? And I remember I lied to one person and said I have just cut my fringe, but then after I said it to so many people, and I thought, what, like, why am I lying? What's the point? So I told them, yeah, it's a wig. I told them I have alopecia. I said I'm bald underneath it. This is my new hair. I've had a lot of people contact me ever since I've like been open about my alopecia, like either through my parents or to me directly. And there's been a lot of teenagers and children that have said they've had it, and through watching the documentary that Riley's made, it's just helped them so much with their confidence with it, and it's just made them all like just so emotional, because it's the first time they've seen someone as young as me, but anyone really speaking out about it and properly just raising awareness about it. So they've all felt really seen through this documentary. But I've also heard a lot of people, what's the problem with alopecia? What's wrong with it? Why don't you want people to know? Just let people know, just tell them. I've said it a zillion times, but it's the most important thing. Just, you've got to own it. You've got to be confident, because otherwise it will just eat you up. You've got to let people know. So yeah, I'd say confidence is key.
1 patch, 2 patch, 3 patch, 4. Go hair, go, I don't want you anymore. 5 patch, 6 patch, 7 patch, 8.